Minho or Minho is the longest river in Galicia, Spain, with a length of 340 kilometers. The name comes from Latin minius, meaning cinnabar, lead, or vermilion. Essentially, the Red River, the Minho waters vineyards and farmland, is used to produce hydroelectric power, and also delineates a section of the Spanish-Portuguese border. In ancient English maps, it appears as Minho. The source of the Minho lies about 50 kilometers north of Lugo in Galicia, in a place called Pedregal of Irimia. The river passes just south of the walls of this old Roman city and flows south through canyons until the valley widens north of Orense. The river has been harnessed in reservoirs from Portimão to Frieira. Along its length, it has the following reservoirs: Baliza with 654 cubic hectometers, Pears with 182 cubic hectometers, Vel with 17 cubic hectometers, Castrelo with 60 cubic hectometers and Frieira with 44 cubic hectometers. About 20 kilometers north of Orense at Os Pears, the Minho receives the waters of its main tributary, the Sil. Passing Orense, there is one major dam at Frieira near the town of Ribadavia, which is famous for its Ribeiro wine. Later on, the river flows in a southwest direction until reaching the Portuguese border near Melgaço. After 260 kilometers through Galicia, the Minho sets the border to Portugal for about other 80 kilometers, mainly towards the west. The valley is a lush, green agricultural area where the land is used to produce corn, potatoes, cabbage, even kiwi fruit, or just grass, depending on the time of year, and everywhere edging the fields, rivers and gardens, wherever there is space, the vines which produce the light, slightly sparkling, Vinho Verde, and the Ribeiro wine, both peculiar to this area. The very best of these wines, Alvarinho in Portuguese or Albarino in Spanish and Galician, is produced in the area around Monção, Arbor and Melgaço. Passing the medieval towns of Melgaço and Monção, the Minho divides the Spanish Tui and Portuguese Valença do Minho, towns that guarded an important bridge for road and rail. Both towns preserve fortifications and are national monuments. The Minho reaches the Atlantic between the Galician Aguada and the Portuguese Camina. Geography. The river begins in the Pedregal to Irimia of the Sierra de Meira, about 695 meters above sea level, in the municipality of Meira, northeast of the province of Lugo, where it flows underground to surface in the lagoon Fonmina. This lagoon is located in the same province, is historically considered as its birthplace. The Minho flows through the Galician Massif and Cantabrian mountain range and the mountains of Leon, two of the rainiest areas of the Iberian Peninsula, being one of the main rivers of the Atlantic slope. All its upper course has been declared a biosphere reserve. The Minho River runs its first 64 kilometers across the plateau of Lugo, a peneplain whose elevation ranges from 450 to 650 meters above the sea level. Its main tributaries are the Sil, Nera, Avia, Barbantino, Bubble, Arnoia rivers. Legends, traditions and superstitions. The story tells the oral tradition of Galician mythological characters that were living in the basin of the Rio Minho, such as feitiçeiras who lived in the same river, the Zarcos who dwelt in wells located throughout the watershed, and fishmen who were amphibious with the possibility of living both on land and in water. Tributaries. Right Pontevedra, Rio Tamux, Rio Pigo, Rio Cerro da Brina, Rio Furnia, Rio Luro, Rio Caceles, Rio T, Rio Umar, Rio Deva, Rio Ribadil, Rio Cea, Orense, Rio Avia, Rio Barbantino, Rio Bubble, Lugo, Rio Asma, Rio Naran, Rio Ferreira, Rio Mera, Rio Nala, Rio Ladra, Rio Tamoga, Rio Anho, Left Portugal, Rio Muro, Rio Gadana, Rio Cura, Orense, Rio Deva, Rio Arnoia, Rio Barbana, Rio Lonia, Sil River, Rio Sardinera, Rio Loyo, Rio Nera, Rio Chamoso, Rio Robre, Rio Li, Rio Azumar.